アニゲーミング紅葉楽しい冒険スタートだ
Welcome everyone back to otakusandgeeks.com. Justin here, back with more anime gaming. This is episode 16, and today, my friends, we're going to be talking about Lupin the Third, Treasure of the Sorcerer King. And this was released in the PlayStation 2 in 2002, and it's one of the few attempts to bring the Master Thief's antics to gaming world. And it was developed by Banpresto. The game combines stealth, action, puzzle solving, and light combat elements, attempting to capture the essence of Lupin's capers. But as always, you know how we do here at Any Gaming, we're going to talk story, gameplay, graphics, and sound. So let's kick it off with the story. So the game follows Lupin the Third as he embarks on a daring quest to steal the mysterious treasure of the Sorcerer King. As always, he's joined by his trusty partners, the sharpshooter, the master swordsman, and of course, the ever crafty Fujiko. Meanwhile, the relentless Inspector Zenagawa is hot on his tail, determined to capture him at all costs. What starts as a typical heist soon spirals into something much more complex, involving a hidden conspiracy, supernatural elements, and an ancient treasure with immense power. The narrative balances the series' signature humor and action, featuring plenty of witty banter between characters. While the plot is enjoyable for Lupin the Third fans, it does suffer from pacing issues, particularly with repetitive mission structures, which I'll get a little bit into that when it comes to the gameplay. But I would say one of the highlights of the game is actually the cutscenes because it makes it feel like an authentic episode of the anime, especially with exaggerated character expressions and Lupin's signature goofiness. However, the story does take a backseat to gameplay, serving more as an excuse to guide Lupin from one elaborate heist to the next. And speaking of the gameplay, let's talk a little bit about that. So the gameplay has features gadgets, and occasional gunplay. And the stealth element here requires Lupin to sneak around past guards, avoiding security cameras, and use his wits to outmaneuver obstacles. The gameplay seems plays somewhat like an anime style version of Metal Gear Solid, a bastard version of Metal Gear Solid, or bastardized version, I should say, with great emphasis on humor. And his sneak mechanics involve crunching, tiptoeing, and even disguising himself in classic Lupin fashion. As you play through missions, you'll earn various disguises to fool enemies and adding puzzle elements for infiltration. And the AI, unfortunately, can be a bit predictable, sometimes acting too alert, while others times being laughably easy to bypass. So there's moments in there where you just go, okay, I know exactly what's gonna happen. And then there's also non-lethal takedowns where Lupin can take down enemies with gunplay or gadgets. And speaking of those gadgets, you have smoke bombs, you have a grappling hook, a boomerang, and lockpick. Well, for unlocking things because he is the master of unlocking. Combat is where the game feels very very clunky, and even the controls, I will have to say, my friends, feels a little bit clunky as well. The aiming system is stiff, the hit detection is very inconsistent, and Lupin and Jen both use firearms, but sneaky approaches are usually the best way to take down your enemies. But boss fights pit Lupin against unique foes, but they rely more on pattern recognition than actual skill based combat. It's not the most fun game to play, and unfortunately, the clunky controls really takes away from everything. So it's like I said, on any gaming, not every single game is going to be a banger, and this one is kind of like with it. But graphically, I will have to say, and if you've known the pattern that we've been doing so far on anime gaming, any gaming, is the graphics have what's the magic word, folks? Shell shaded. Yes, cell shaded graphics, giving characters more of an environment and that hand drawn feel. Character models, especially Lupin, Gomon, and the other characters, are well animated, in the backgrounds and environments do lack detail. They do feel empty, like a lot of anime games back in the day, but they do a good job when it comes to the character designs and the 3D models, and the 3D models actually work for this particular one. Now, Here is where the game truly, truly shines, my friends, and that is, of course, the sound. And the sound has just been like the saving grace for a lot of these anime games. And this one does feature English and Japanese voice acting. The English dub is handled by the cast of Lupin the Third Part 2, the North American version. And while it captures the characters well, some of the dialogue can feel sometimes like it was rushed. The soundtrack is jazzy, my favorite genre, and it's fitting for the Lupin the Third theme songs. It does lack the iconic scores, unfortunately, but it's serviceable and it's basically it does its job. And I'll have to say the musical range changes from stealth and combat situations. So in stealth, it's a little bit more melancholy, and when it's not stealth, it's a little bit more tense with the trumpets and the saxophone really blazing, giving you that feel like you're part of the anime. But overall, I'll have to say this. Good things about it, it captures the spirit of Lupin the Third. The stealth mechanics are pretty decent. The cell shaded visuals, the gadgets are pretty good, and it has a nice variety for the gameplay. However, the clunky combat, repetitive missions, and AI is just not that great. But if you are a fan of Lupin the Third, you really can't go wrong with it. Just at least playing the first two missions just to see how it is. It does capture the anime very well, which is what we look for in any gaming. And you know what? I would say if you have at least 2 hours to kill just to check it out for yourself, if you get your hands on it, why not? It's Lupin the Third. Who doesn't love Lupin the Third? And this is Justin from otakusthegeeks.com with another episode of Any Gaming, my friends. What is your favorite Lupin the Third movie? Mine is actually, here's a little quick tip. My favorite Lupin the Third movie is Lupin the Third and the Island of the Assassins. You can actually find it on YouTube. I've been trying to find this DVD Blu-ray for ages. I cannot find it. I'm gonna check Amazon. I mean, for a fair price, I should say. And that ending of this anime and the score is just amazing. I can't praise that film enough. So this is Justin from otakusthegeeks.com. If you like what we do here, hopefully we'll earn your subscription. If we did, please hit the subscribe button, the like button, the notification bell. My friends, I will catch you on the next one. Peace, love, and happiness to you all. Later days.